You've been lied to about money your entire life. You were taught to hustle, grind, and sacrifice, believing that working harder would make you rich. But here's the truth. Money doesn't respond to effort. It responds to energy. And until you shift your frequency, you'll stay stuck in the cycle, no matter how much you try. If you've ever worked your ass off and still struggled, this is the last video you'll ever need to watch. This sets the emotional premise and disrupts the viewer's expectations immediately. Essential to stop scrolling, build urgency, and keep them watching. Part 1. The lie you were raised on the grind. Myth. Why effort alone doesn't work. Work hard and you'll succeed. Put in the hours and you'll live the dream. Give 100% and life will reward you. How many times have you heard that? From childhood classrooms to locker room speeches, family dinner tables to job interviews. This was the doctrine, the unshakable truth we were all told. Grind now, prosper later. It was drilled into our nervous systems like gospel. Work hard and one day you'll wake up rich. One day, the long nights, the missed birthdays, the aching back and constant burnout will pay off. But what if I told you that's not just wrong? It's one of the most destructive lies ever sold. Let's break it down, slowly, thoroughly, and in a way that once you hear it, you can never unhear it again. Chapter 1. The lie that built the system. Hard work is noble, but hard work without alignment is just spiritual debt. Think about the people you know who work the hardest. Warehouse workers, nurses, factory floor operators, street vendors, janitors, plumbers, construction laborers. Now think about the wealthiest people you know, or know of, CEOs, tech founders, venture capitalists, inherited heirs, crypto whales. Here's the disconnect. The first group spends their lives working. The second group spends their energy aligning. This world doesn't reward hard work. It rewards alignment with systems of belief, energy, influence, and ownership. And yet we were taught to worship the grind. Let me ask you, who benefits from you believing that only effort creates success? Who benefits from you burning out, while still believing that one day it'll magically pay off? It's certainly not you. Chapter 2. Grind culture is a scam. Grind culture is a modern form of slavery, marketed as ambition. You wake up, hit the alarm, race through breakfast, and start chasing deadlines. You answer emails at red lights. You check Slack during lunch. You fall asleep with notifications buzzing by your pillow. And at the end of the week, you still feel broke, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, physically. You gave everything and got almost nothing. Sound familiar? That's because you've been looped into a system designed to reward exhaustion, not evolution. They convinced you that the more tired you are, the more deserving you are. But here's the truth. Wealth doesn't respond to suffering. It responds to self-alignment. Effort alone is not the currency of the universe. Energy is. Chapter 3. The difference between working hard and working right. Let's pause for a second and draw a line between two terms that get confused all the time. Hard work, doing more, faster, longer. Energetic alignment, doing what's right for you from the inside out. The factory worker who clocks in for 12 hours in triple shifts is working hard. The entrepreneur who spends 2 hours visualizing and structuring a scalable system is working aligned. The school teacher who grades papers until midnight is working hard. The YouTuber who creates a single 15-minute video that earns passive income for years is working aligned. One burns out, the other compounds. And the reason this distinction is so important is because if you don't understand it, you'll keep pushing in the wrong direction, faster. You'll mistake exhaustion for progress, sacrifice for success, suffering for value, and life will keep giving you exactly what you're broadcasting. Resistance. Chapter 4. Hustle hormones and addiction to struggle. Let's go even deeper. There's a reason so many of us become addicted to working hard, even when it's clearly not working. It's because our brains are wired to reward stress with dopamine. You answer 57 emails in a day? Dopamine. You collapse after a 16-hour shift? Dopamine. You skip meals, ignore your family, and still meet the deadline? Dopamine. It becomes your identity. I'm a hard worker. I'm always grinding. I'll sleep when I'm dead. You start to believe the stress means you're doing something right, and slowly, you confuse stress with purpose. But here's the danger. Once your nervous system normalizes stress as success, you will start self-sabotaging peace. Because peace will feel boring, abundance will feel suspicious, simplicity will feel lazy, and suddenly you're addicted to struggle because it feels like progress. Chapter 5. The Prison of Someday. One day it'll all pay off. One day I'll finally have enough. One day I'll stop working so hard and actually live. This is the most dangerous lie of all. The illusion of someday, because someday never arrives. The system is designed to move the goalposts every time you get closer. A raise that barely covers inflation, a promotion that demands more hours, a business that now owns you instead of freeing you. You'll keep chasing a finish line that was never meant to be crossed. And worst of all, you'll look back on years, maybe decades, realizing you spent your best energy trying to earn something you could have aligned with from the start. Chapter 6. Case Study. The Two Builders. Let me show you how this works with a metaphor. Two builders are hired to build a house. Builder 1 grabs the hammer and starts pounding away. No blueprint, no plan, just brute force. Builder 2 spends 2 weeks designing the blueprint. He studies the terrain, measures the materials, visualizes the layout. After a month, Builder 1 has a crooked frame, splinters, and exhaustion. Builder 2 has a foundation that will last for generations. Both put in effort, but one was aligned. The other was chaotic. The same is true with money. When you act from survival, your effort becomes scattered. When you act from alignment, your energy compounds. Chapter 7. Alignment is the new hustle. The new paradigm doesn't ask for more hours. It asks for more alignment. Alignment means knowing your energy before making decisions. Moving from trust, not fear. Building wealth rituals, not just habits. Saying no to opportunities that don't match your energetic signature. Listening to your body more than your deadlines. When you live from alignment, money starts showing up in ways that feel effortless. Not because you didn't work, but because you stopped resisting yourself. Chapter 8. The System's Fear. Let me tell you something radical. The system fears aligned people more than anything. Because aligned people don't overconsume, don't overwork, don't ask for permission, don't play the game. They create wealth on their terms. They flow, not chase. They rise, not grind. So what did the system do? It made alignment look lazy. It made rest feel shameful. It made peace feel like you're not doing enough. Because the moment you stop running, you start remembering who you are. Chapter 9. Where the shift begins. So now what? You're here. You're hearing this. You felt the truth resonate in your bones. Here's where the real transformation begins. Acknowledge the lie. Hard work alone doesn't create wealth. Forgive yourself. You weren't lazy. You were misled. Get curious. What would it look like if money came from alignment? Watch the evidence. Start looking for people who earn in flow, not hustle. Open the door, let go of someday and open to now. Because the truth is, you don't need to work harder. You need to work cleaner. You don't need to sacrifice more. You need to align deeper. You don't need to wait. You need to allow. Part 2. The Hidden Program. Scarcity is a virus. You inherited, you are not your thoughts. You are the code running beneath them. Let that sink in. Because what we call our beliefs about money, what we think we know about wealth, success, worth, they're not original thoughts. They're inherited patterns, emotional blueprints, mental viruses passed down from one unconscious generation to the next. Today we go beneath the surface. If you've ever wondered why money slips through your fingers, why you feel guilty asking for more, why you sabotage your own success the moment it arrives, this is why. Chapter 1. You were programmed. Before you knew your name. Let's go back. Back to a time before bank accounts, before spreadsheets, before school even. You're 3 years old, tugging on your mother's sleeve at the grocery store. Mom, can I have this toy? She doesn't look at the price. She doesn't weigh the value. She just says, no, sweetie, we can't afford that. In that moment, something downloads into your nervous system, a message, a code. What I want is too much. Money is scarce. Desire is dangerous. It happens again and again and again. You ask. You're denied. You absorb. Not the facts, the feelings. By the time you turn 7, your entire financial frequency has already been set. And it wasn't set by logic. It was set by fear, passed down from people who were just doing their best while being unconscious of their own wounds. Chapter 2. Money trauma is multi-generational. Your fear of success isn't yours. Your guilt about having more? Also not yours. That knot in your stomach when you raise your prices? Your hesitation before saying, I deserve this? That uneasiness when you talk about money. All of it is secondhand trauma. Think about your parents, grandparents, or caregivers. Most likely, they struggled financially. They equated virtue with frugality. They respected hard labor more than emotional intelligence. They mistrusted wealth, or the people who had it. So what did they do? They passed that worldview down to you, not in their words, in their nervous system. Children don't learn through lectures. They learn through vibes, and the vibe you inherited was, money is hard, having too much is risky, wanting more is shameful. That's the software your subconscious still runs to this day. Chapter 3. The school system cemented the code. Let's fast forward to elementary school. Did anyone teach you how money actually works? What wealth consciousness means? How to invest, circulate, or energetically align with abundance? Instead, they taught you to ask permission before speaking, to memorize instead of imagine, to obey instead of question, to trade time for tokens of approval. From a young age. You were trained to see authority as truth, see freedom as rebellion, see grades, external validation, as your worth. You were not prepared for wealth. You were prepared for employment, for productivity, for compliance, for a life of managed survival. Chapter 4. The sacred versus the secular split. Now add in religion or spirituality. For many people, this introduced an even deeper fracture in their money story. The love of money is the root of all evil. Blessed are the poor. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. So what does your subconscious do? It splits. It categorizes spirituality and wealth as opposites, holiness and material abundance as conflicts. You either choose to be rich or righteous, but never both. Here's the truth no one told you. Money is neutral. It's not evil. It's not holy. It simply amplifies who you are. If you are kind, money amplifies kindness. If you are generous, money magnifies your reach. If you are insecure, money multiplies that insecurity. Money is a tool, a mirror, a multiplier. The only question is, what energy is it reflecting back to you? Chapter 5. The rise of shame-based self-worth. Now add modern media. Social pressure, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the wealth porn cycle. You're scrolling. Someone's on a private jet. Another is flipping real estate. Another one made $50,000 in their sleep. And you're trying to figure out how to pay rent. Now watch what happens. Your internal dialogue starts to shift from, how do I grow? To, what's wrong with me? That's the silent debt that social media installs. Emotional debt. Every scroll is a micro reminder of your failure. Every success post is an invisible invoice of inadequacy. Every how I made 100K in 10 days funnel is another spiritual tax on your confidence. Eventually, you start equating your value with your output. And if you're not producing, scaling, crushing, winning, you feel like a fraud. The worst part? The pressure doesn't lead to productivity. It leads to paralysis. Chapter 6. This is a spell, and it's time to break it. Let's be clear. You didn't choose this program. You inherited it. But here's the good news. Anything programmed can be reprogrammed. This isn't about blame. It's about awakening. You can't change what you refuse to see, but once you see it, you reclaim your power. Because the subconscious rules 95% of your financial decisions: how much you charge, how much you ask for, how you spend, how you invest. Whether you trust money or fear it, your external results are just a mirror of your internal scripts. Rewrite the script. The mirror changes. Chapter 7. Your current reality is a replay. This part might sting, but it's powerful. Your current bank account is a reflection of past beliefs. Your income ceiling, set by the emotional ceiling in your childhood. Your fear of charging more, it's the echo of a parent who snapped, "Don't be greedy." Your discomfort around selling, it's the residue of being told to be humble. Your panic around spending, it's not about the purchase, it's about the pattern. You're not bad with money. You're just stuck in an old energetic loop, but loops can be broken. Chapter 8. The concept of original money sin. Let's talk about what I call the original money sin. It's that first moment you felt ashamed for desiring more. The first time you asked and were told it was too much. That moment scarred your spirit. It taught you to question your desire, to feel unsafe receiving. And so every time life offers you more, an opportunity, a raise, a stroke of luck, your nervous system quietly whispers, "It's not safe. You'll lose it. They'll hate you for it. You don't deserve this." That's not intuition. That's conditioning. The money didn't scare you. The memory did. Chapter 9. The bridge back to abundance. So how do we rewrite this? You don't just think different thoughts. You become a different energetic blueprint. Here's the process. Awareness, catch the story, hear the voice, name it. That's my dad's voice telling me money is dangerous. That's my teacher's fear talking, not mine. Separation. Realize that belief was given to you, and what was given can be returned. Replacement. Create new beliefs. I am safe receiving more. Wealth reflects my alignment, not my guilt. Desire is divine. Embodiment. Speak it. Act it. Ritualize it. Every new belief must be felt to be real. Chapter 10. The inner child and the inner banker. You have two forces inside you. Your inner child, the one who absorbed fear and rejection. Your inner banker, the one who's ready to rise and circulate. Most people are letting the scared child drive their financial vehicle. They hold back, play small, fear asking. But that child isn't in trouble. They're just waiting for someone to say, "You're safe now. It's okay to want more. You're allowed to have it." Give that to yourself, daily, repeatedly. That's how you rewire from within. Part 3. The shift. Money is energy. Your frequency is your fortune. Money doesn't respond to effort. It responds to frequency. The unspoken rule of the wealthy, it's not about how hard you work. It's about how powerfully you're aligned. It's not about how much you know. It's about how clearly you radiate certainty, value, and trust. In this chapter, we're stepping into the real engine behind wealth. Energy. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to attract money without effort, why others work themselves into the ground and never escape survival mode, why success seems so unevenly distributed, this is the answer. Let's unpack it. Step by step. Chapter 1. The invisible language. Money speaks. Let's make something clear. Money is not a number. It's not a bank account. It's not cash in your wallet. It's not even gold-backed or materially real in the way we've been taught. Money is belief made physical. It only exists because enough people agree that it does. We don't exchange money for goods and services. We exchange energy for energy, and money is the receipt of belief, permission, and alignment. You can't touch belief, but it moves nations. You can't measure frequency with your eyes, but it governs every interaction. And that's where we start. Money speaks energy, not logic. Chapter 2. The two channels. Scarcity versus abundance. Right now, you're tuned into one of two frequencies. Scarcity. There's never enough. If I make more, I'll lose it. Wanting more makes me selfish. Money always disappears. Abundance. There's always more where that came from. I am safe receiving. Circulation creates overflow. Money flows when I trust. Most people try to change their outcomes without changing their channel. It's like tuning a radio to static and expecting to hear music. If you're on the scarcity frequency, no matter how hard you try, how much you study, how many hours you put in, life will reflect lack back to you. Why? Because the universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you broadcast. Chapter 3. Your emotional state is your magnet. Let's go deeper. Your emotional baseline creates your energetic signal. If you feel anxious, you signal chaos. If you feel unworthy, you signal rejection. If you feel lack, you repel wealth. If you feel trust, you invite prosperity. This isn't just poetic, it's quantum. In quantum physics, the observer effect shows that energy responds to the observer's expectations. That means your inner state shapes your outer reality. You are not passively experiencing money. You are actively co-creating it with your frequency. Chapter 4. Why hard work without alignment fails. This is the piece most people miss. You can work 18-hour days, get 3 degrees, try every side hustle, budget obsessively, and still be broke. Why? Because if your frequency says, I don't have enough, I don't deserve it, money is hard, then the universe matches that script, not your grind. Think of money like a tuning fork. If your inner frequency doesn't match the vibration of abundance, no amount of outer action will resonate. You'll be out of sync. And when you're out of sync, you block the flow, no matter how desperately you want it. Chapter 5. The loop of contraction. Here's what happens to most people. They struggle, get scared, tighten their grip on money, hoard, shrink, panic, energy contracts, flow disappears. They stop trusting, start controlling. But money doesn't respond to control. It responds to circulation. The more you fear losing money, the more you repel it. Why? Because fear sends a signal to the universe. I don't believe more is coming. And the universe, being obedient to your belief, says, okay, I'll act like it's not. Chapter 6. Currency means flow. There's a reason it's called a currency. The word comes from the Latin currere, meaning to run or to flow. Money was never meant to be hoarded. It was meant to move, like breath, like blood, like water. When you spend with intention, give with openness, receive without guilt, you signal trust, and that trust becomes magnetic. It says to the universe, I am in flow. I trust circulation. I expect increase. And that becomes your energetic signature. Chapter 7. Your energy field is your wealth container. Imagine your life as a vessel. If your vessel is cracked with old trauma, leaking with self-doubt, too small from fear, then no matter how much money flows in, it won't stay. You'll overspend, undercharge, self-sabotage. Feel guilt for having more than others. That's why 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt. It's not about the money. It's about the capacity to hold the energy of money. Your bank account is just the physical mirror of your energetic boundaries. Chapter 8. Signaling versus strategy. Here's where most coaches and gurus get it wrong. They teach strategies, sales funnels, budgeting apps, money affirmations, investment tactics. And while these aren't bad, they miss the real driver. Your frequency is your strategy. If your strategy is brilliant, but your energy says, I'm desperate, then the energy overrides the tactic. You don't attract what you think, you attract what you are. That's why 2 people can use the same tactic and get wildly different results. Chapter 9. Money mirrors your core identity. Your financial life mirrors your self-worth, your emotional safety, your willingness to receive. Ask yourself, do I feel worthy of ease? Do I trust myself with overflow? Do I secretly believe money will corrupt me? Because if you don't believe you're allowed to hold wealth, you'll unconsciously reject it. This isn't your fault. It's your programming. But now that you're aware, you can begin to reprogram. Chapter 10, How to Shift Your Frequency. So how do you actually shift from scarcity to abundance? 1. Feel first, think later. Your frequency isn't changed through logic, it's changed through emotion. Visualize abundance, feel it, taste it, rehearse it daily before it's real. 2. Speak the new signal. Stop saying, I can't afford that. Money is tight. I'm just broke right now. Start saying, wealth is flowing to me. Money loves me. I'm in overflow. Your subconscious listens. Your vibration shifts. 3. Invest in flow, not fear. Don't spend money to escape lack. Spend to amplify your frequency. Ask, does this purchase expand or contract me? Spend with intention equals trust equals flow. Chapter 11, Real-Life Frequency Shifts. Here are real-life examples of frequency in motion. Someone finally raises their rates, and their dream client shows up. A person starts giving 5% of every payment away, and their income doubles. A creative stops begging for likes and starts creating for joy, and goes viral. A coach stops undercharging and begins feeling abundant. New offers sell out. The outside shifted because the inside changed first. It always starts within. Chapter 12, The Frequency of Enoughness. Here's the master key. You attract more when you stop needing more. When you shift from neediness, peace, panic, presence, fear, flow. You stop chasing money, and money starts chasing you. Why? Because desperation is repellent, but grounded belief, irresistible. You felt it. The moment you stop begging, things start arriving. The moment you feel whole, life adds more. It's not a glitch. It's the design. Part 4, The Case Study Meet Eric. The man who did everything right and still struggled. Sometimes the chains we carry are invisible, forged not from metal, but from memory, energy, and programming. Let me tell you a story. It's not fiction, and yet it's not just about one person. This is the story of millions. Maybe even you. Chapter 1, Introducing Eric. Eric is 49, a plumber by trade. Been at it for 22 years. He's the guy who shows up when the basement floods, when the pipes burst at 3 a.m. When no one else answers, Eric does. He's reliable, kind, doesn't cut corners. Eric isn't lazy. He's not entitled. He doesn't make excuses. He shows up every single day. But there's one thing that never changes. Eric is always broke. No matter how many jobs he takes, no matter how early he wakes, no matter how many weekends he skips, he's still chasing bills, still barely getting by, still whispering to himself, it's just a slow season. But deep down, Eric knows something's off, and so do you. Chapter 2, Eric's Invisible Battle. Eric's struggle isn't external, it's energetic. He's not just tired from work, he's tired from the spell he's carrying, the belief that money only comes from pain, that good people don't ask for more, that raising prices is selfish, that wealth is for others, not for him. He doesn't remember where he learned it, but the belief is strong, stronger than logic, stronger than effort. Every time he gets ahead, an unexpected bill, a broken tool, a canceled job knocks him back. It seems random, but it's not. It's a pattern, an echo of a deeper truth. Eric is energetically bankrupt. Chapter 3, Where Eric's Program Began. Eric's father was a hard man. Blue collar, no nonsense. He taught Eric that a real man works with his hands. Doesn't complain, doesn't expect handouts, dies tired but respected. Eric listened, he learned, and he lived by that code. But what he didn't realize was that the code had a virus. Suffering equals virtue. Struggle is noble. Wanting more makes you ungrateful. Eric never questioned it, and so, even when new opportunities came, he would shrink. A bigger contract, he'd underbid himself. A chance to raise his rates, he'd talk himself out of it. A moment to shine, he'd hide behind humility, because somewhere inside a whisper told him, if I succeed, I'll be alone. If I grow, they'll hate me. If I stop fighting, I don't deserve it. Chapter 4. The Cycle of Self-Sabotage. Eric's life is a loop. Here's how it plays out. He gets excited about new income. He takes on too much. He undercharges out of guilt. He burns out. He feels resentful. A random emergency resets everything. He doesn't know it, but his nervous system is addicted to survival. He can't rest unless there's a crisis. He can't receive unless he suffers first. He can't allow ease, because ease feels wrong. To Eric, wealth doesn't feel safe. It feels like betrayal. And so, without even realizing it, Eric is fighting against his own success. Chapter 5. Eric's Silent Rules. Here are the unconscious money rules Eric lives by. If I don't fight for it, I don't deserve it. If I make too much, I'll lose myself. If I raise my prices, I'll be abandoned. If I stop working, I'll lose everything. If I win, someone else has to lose. He never wrote them down. No one said them out loud. But they live in his body. They shape how he breathes, how he negotiates, how he shows up. And until these inner rules change, nothing in his outer life will. Chapter 6. Eric is not broken, he's coded. Let's pause, because you might be feeling a little too seen right now. That's not a coincidence, because Eric is not just a man. Eric is an archetype. He represents the overachievers, the caregivers, the perfectionists, the grinders. He represents everyone who was taught to give but not receive, to show up but not shine, to sacrifice but not rest. Eric is all of us before the awakening. And here's the key. Eric is not broken. He's running old code, and that code can be rewritten. Chapter 7. Why nothing changes for Eric yet. Eric's tried changing. He's taken courses, watched motivational videos, budgeted, prayed, even tried manifesting. But nothing sticks. Why? Because he keeps upgrading the actions without upgrading the identity. He's trying to change outcomes without changing who he believes he is. Until Eric believes, I am worthy of more. Wealth is safe. Ease is allowed. He will continue to create the same outcomes, new strategies, same results, because the signal hasn't changed. Chapter 8. When Eric stops pretending. Let me tell you what finally breaks the loop. One night, Eric's at his kitchen table. Bills piled up, his son asleep upstairs. He looks at a bill he can't pay. And instead of saying, I'll figure it out, something inside him snaps. For the first time in years, he feels it, really feels it. The grief, the anger, the shame. And beneath all that, a tiny voice. I'm tired of fighting. I want more. I want peace. It doesn't come out loud, just a whisper. But it's enough. Because it's the first time Eric has spoken truth, not programming. Chapter 9, Eric begins to shift. Here's what Eric does next. He doesn't read another book. He doesn't hustle harder. He does something radical. He questions everything. Who told me money only comes from struggle? Why do I feel guilty when I rest? What if being wealthy doesn't make me selfish, but sovereign? What if ease is not lazy, but aligned? He starts writing new truths on sticky notes. He puts them on his mirror. He says them out loud. He stops apologizing for his rates. He spends with intention, not fear. And slowly his energy begins to shift. Chapter 10. The universe responds. Eric doesn't get rich overnight, but something starts happening. Clients respect his time more. He feels less anxious on Sundays. Unexpected opportunities start landing in his inbox. People refer him, not just because he's good, but because he now believes he's valuable. And then it happens. A large client offers him a recurring contract, enough to double his income. Eric hesitates. The old code wants to say no, but he breathes, remembers who he is now, and says, yes. I received that one. Yes rewrites his entire timeline, not because of luck, but because of alignment. Chapter 11. Eric's new rules. Here's what Eric lives by now. Wealth is safe. Receiving is sacred. My work is worthy of overflow. Ease is my birthright. Rest is productive. Abundance is who I am. He still works, but from peace, not panic. He still serves, but from overflow, not obligation. He's no longer trying to earn worthiness. He embodies it. And that shift, that's what unlocks everything. Chapter 12. Who Eric represents. Let's bring this home. Eric is not just a story. Eric is the healer who charges too little, the coach who underprices her gifts, the employee who never asks for a raise, the creative who doubts his own genius, the mother who sacrifices herself until she's empty. Eric is everyone who forgot they were allowed to receive. And now, Eric remembers. So can you. Part 5. The Reset Ritual, How to Rewrite Your Financial Frequency and Become a Magnet for Wealth. You don't get wealthy by doing more. You get wealthy by becoming someone who can receive more. This is the moment where knowledge becomes practice, where story becomes ritual, where identity becomes magnetic. Because now that you've seen the illusion, now that you've decoded the scarcity virus, now that you understand money as energy, and that Eric's story mirrors your own, there's only one question left. How do you actually change it? This final chapter is not motivational. It's not theoretical. It's instructional. Because if frequency is your financial blueprint, then ritual is how you rewire it. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Why frequency is ritual, not resolution. You can't affirm your way to wealth if your body doesn't believe you. You can't visualize abundance while hoarding fear. You can't rewrite decades of programming with one good mood. Repetition plus emotion equals reprogramming. That's why we need ritual. Ritual creates pattern. Pattern reshapes your nervous system. And when your nervous system is safe, it allows more. Chapter 2. The 4 layers of frequency reset. Your financial field has 4 layers. Thoughts, conscious affirmations, emotions, felt vibrations, environment, physical anchors, behavior, reinforced identity. All 4 must align. If even one is out of sync, your flow gets blocked. So we'll create rituals that speak to your mind, regulate your body signal to your environment, confirm with your actions. Let's build your wealth field from the inside out. Chapter 3. Ritual 1. The daily signal. Reset frequency. Morning plus night, 5 to 10 minutes. Purpose. Shift identity before the world hijacks it. What to do. Sit in stillness before your phone, your tasks, your emails. Say these out loud. I am safe receiving money. I am worthy of overflow. I am not chasing money. I'm radiating abundance. I do not beg. I magnetize. Wealth flows toward my energy effortlessly. Add touch. Place a hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Breathe in abundance. Breathe out contraction. Why it works. Your subconscious mind is most receptive in the first 20 minutes after waking and right before sleep. Use that window. Speak to your nervous system directly. Ritualize safety and expansion. Chapter 4. Ritual 2. The overflow envelope frequency. Every income receipt, passive or active. Purpose. Prove to your subconscious that money isn't running out. What to do. Get a physical envelope or a designated account. Every time you receive income, set aside 5 to 10% of it. Label this overflow or I always have more. Important rule. This money is not for emergencies, not for bills, not for saving out of fear. This is proof that more always comes. Why it works. Your subconscious believes what it sees. This is tangible physical evidence that you are not just surviving, you're circulating. You are the type of person who always has extra. That identity becomes reality. Chapter 5. Ritual 3. The currency code in your wallet frequency. Always purpose. Prime your mind every time you spend what to do. Write this on a sticky note or small card. Money flows from me, not to me, and it always returns multiplied. Place it in your wallet or phone case, somewhere visible whenever you spend. Before every payment, pause. Read it. Feel it. Why it works. Most people spend money in fear. That fear imprints scarcity. This reprograms every transaction into a vote of trust. And trust creates circulation. You're not losing money, you're planting it. Chapter 6, Ritual 4. The reality revision, practice frequency. Nighttime, 3 to 5 minutes. Purpose, override old memories. Plus rewire perception, what to do. Close your eyes. Revisit 1 to 3 moments from your day that made you feel rejected, embarrassed, scared, lacking. Then revise them. See yourself being celebrated, not ignored. See the bill being paid with ease. See yourself confident in that conversation. Let your body feel the shift. Visualize it vividly. Why it works. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between memory and imagination. Repeat it enough, it accepts these revised events as true. That becomes your new baseline, and your outer world must follow. Chapter 7. Ritual 5. Environmental recoding frequency. Weekly sweep. Purpose. Align your physical space with your financial identity. What to do. Clean your wallet, desk, digital workspace, inbox. Eliminate. Clutter unpaid bills, broken objects, digital noise upgrade. Add a money mantra posted on your mirror. Use abundance visuals as screensavers. Play 528 Hz or 432 Hz tones in the background during work. Why it works. Your environment is an extension of your subconscious. Messy desk equals scattered signal. Unpaid bills equals open energetic loops. Tidy space equals wealth-ready nervous system. You must live in a space that reflects the future version of you. Chapter 8. Ritual 6. The gift. Ritual frequency. Monthly or quarterly. Purpose. Break scarcity by initiating circulation. What to do. Choose an amount that feels generous, but not stressful. Give it to someone without expecting return. Could be a person, artist, stranger, creator, friend. Could be cash, digital, anonymous. Say aloud, this is overflow. I'm not giving to lose, I'm giving to grow. Why it works. This is quantum generosity. You're not waiting for abundance to give. You're giving as abundance. And that shifts your identity from needing to having. That's magnetic. Chapter 9. Ritual 7. The as-if day. Frequency. Monthly or when you feel stuck. Purpose. Train the nervous system for wealth readiness. What to do. Choose a day to live as if you were already in overflow. Ask, how would I carry myself? What would I wear? What would I eat? How would I speak, walk, rest? Act it, embody it, no pretending. Just be. Why it works. Acting as if isn't fake, it's rehearsal. It shows your subconscious what's normal. The more you normalize wealth energy, the faster your world aligns with it. You don't wait to feel abundant, you generate it. Chapter 10. What to stop doing immediately. These rituals work best when you stop reinforcing scarcity through these habits. Saying, I can't afford it. I'm broke. Money never lasts. Shaming others for wealth. Must be nice. She's probably scamming. Rich people are greedy. Obsessively checking your bank account in fear. Hoarding out of panic, not purpose. Undercharging, overgiving, or proving your worth. Because every one of these sends a signal. I expect lack. We flip the script through conscious, repeated ritual. Chapter 11. What you'll start to see when you do these rituals, consistently, emotionally, intentionally, you'll notice shifts. Money shows up in unexpected ways. You stop settling for low-paid work. People treat you differently because your field changed. You attract aligned clients, collaborations, and ideas. The old anxiety around money gets quieter, not because you did more, but because you became more receptive. That's the whole point. Chapter 12. Becoming the source. One final reframe. Stop seeing yourself as a money chaser. Start seeing yourself as the source of flow. You don't attract money because you need it. You attract it because your field becomes magnetic. Money becomes a byproduct of who you are, not a prize for how hard you try. And when you embody that truth, you stop looking for miracles because you become the miracle. Final call to action. If this series has rewired something inside you, comment, I am the source. I allow abundance now. Like the video to anchor the energy. Subscribe because this isn't the end. It's your beginning. Your wealth journey isn't about chasing, fixing, or proving. It's about remembering. You were never meant to struggle for scraps. You were born for circulation, for overflow, for sovereign wealth. The rituals are here. The code is rewritten. The field is shifting. Now it's your turn to rise.